Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I'll always love you. I told my wildness, my mad existence. I kept my promise, don't keep your distance. Have you ever heard about Argentina? You better do. And I'll tell you why. Hello, welcome to What Young Americans Need to Know. And today I'm going to be talking about Argentina. Have you ever heard about it? If you don't, you better do. And I'll tell you why you just don't know about it. You don't know about it because Argentina is this bad cadaver of the Western civilization that nobody talks about. What's Western civilization? Always poshy and fancy places. France, America, Italy, England, United Kingdom, Spain, Germany, Australia. But you do have Argentina. Argentina has been on that group for several years, not for a couple of years, for like over 100 years. Argentina was one of the most rich countries in the whole world. Argentinian families that would make more money than American families, and that's the time when my Irish family, they emigrated from the USA to Argentina. That's about 100 years ago. They chose Argentina for better opportunity. They were farming here. So Argentina was absolutely very rich. It's the only case in history of a rich Western country that went down the hill. And that's why mainstream media does not talk about it. But it should be even studied at school if you are in the USA, because Argentina and the USA have so many things in common. They relate to each other so much. The Constitution of Argentina was even created based on the American Constitution. So it's about freedom, right of speech, equality. And so Argentina was very prosperous. Even the Argentinian railroads, they'll be bigger and more than the American, like it's but easily, okay? They're almost the same as France. Argentina has fresh water like everywhere in Argentina. I mean, the most important part of Argentina, you just make you dig about 7 feet down the earth and you have fresh water, potable water, you know, like, so it's very easy agriculture. It's all flatlands. And it's a huge country. It's the largest Spanish-speaking country in the whole world, and it was like very developed. It has its own manufacturing industry. Ball pens that were invented in Argentina. The heart surgery was created by an Argentinian surgeon. The helicopter was created in Argentina. There's few Nobel Prizes that they were also Argentinians that they made. The Pope is Argentinian. Che Guevara is Argentinian. The most famous guy in the whole world today, Messi, is Argentinian. The Queen of Netherlands is Argentinian. Like, how come such an important country? It's not on mainstream media. Why they don't talk about it? Why? Because Argentina failed. I tell you, I'm Argentinian myself, okay? And I tell you, my last scene that shocked me in Argentina was at a supermarket, okay? You go to the supermarket, you're waiting there, you're for your turn to pay your bill, whatever, you know, like, and to check out. And then there's this lady, she was in front of me, and the cashier told her, "Oh, would you better get these 2 pennies or a candy?" And she was thinking about, no, I better take the pennies, okay? That's the level of impoverishment in Argentina nowadays. People are counting their pennies. She was negotiating the cashier. She simply, like a few years ago, they'll just give you a couple of candies, whatever, they wouldn't bother with the coins. But she did offer the client, look, would you be okay to get this candy? Or it was like 2 pennies. I tell you, I'm not joking. It was like 2 pennies. And the lady said, you know what? No, I better take the 2 pennies. The poverty here is like huge, okay? Even problems that they never had before, which is like analphabetism. People, they don't know how to write and read. I mean, the country has gone down the hill a lot. And the reason is bad policies. And these are the same policies that a lot of people are advertising in the USA. And a lot of traders, and they know it does not work. They know you have Argentina, and they do not want to talk about Argentina. So you better study, you better do know what happened to Argentinians this past 30 years. Today, Argentina is a good example about what can happen to the United States. It's very similar, the culture is very similar, has a lot of things in common in history and everything. But they chose socialism, corruption, lies, and now the country is like dismantled. I do not even know if Argentina still exists. Okay, the manufacturing, Argentina has all this big manufacturing industry, was all going to China. Does that sound familiar to you? Politics, censorship. Only one party, which is socialist. They control the media. They control everything. They don't let anybody who's do not agree with them to talk. Does that sound familiar to you? And the jobless, okay? The jobs they're gone, okay? The products come from everywhere. You know, a lot of immigrants from all over the world. They still come here. The government gives them free citizenship. They get their citizenship. They vote for the politicians that elected them. Does that sound familiar to you? 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 So you better study Argentina and see what happened here, because this is a very, very good example about a bad experience that can be happening to you in the USA. And that's why we keep telling everybody, please follow my channel, read about it, and I'll give you fresh news from Argentina, from Ireland, which is two countries that are very, very related to the USA. And I'll talk about Ireland in another episode, okay? So, thank you for being here, and stay tuned, okay? Thank you. Cheers.